Welcome to my review of the movie that I saved. Me. I did it. I did it. You don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let me tell you a quick not story. I was mad that this movie was put on a shelf, and I was trying to fucking build up hubbub about it. And I was doing a lot with Double Toasted at the time, and I was like, what if we did a viral marketing campaign to buy this movie? And Corey was like, do you hear yourself? That's fucking crazy. They won't just, Warner Brothers isn't going to just sell this movie to somebody, first of all. So, jump forward, there's this company called Ketchup Productions, and Hollywood has fucking backflipped and done the splits and forever changed. And the word got out. There was a guy that wanted this movie to be out as much as possible, and he was out there protesting for all of us, being all our spirit animal. But lo and behold, the movie about the man being fought back against the little guy has finally come out, aka Coyote versus Acme. And Coyote versus Acme tells a story that we all kind of know, unless you live under a rock and you want to out yourself as being like a guy who's desperately looking for attention, and you can be the guy on the internet. Actually, I've never seen one of these cartoons. I'm an idiot, and I like people to know I'm an idiot, except I don't know it, but that's my way of differentiating myself. And if you don't know what Wile E. Coyote is, it's like, how did you get here, and are you an alien? Because if you don't know what Looney Tunes are, then that's crazy to me, dude. Everybody knows who Bugs Bunny is, all right? Everybody knows Daffy Duck, and everybody knows the Coyote and the Roadrunner. And the funny thing about those cartoons is they're just cartoons, right? They're silent characters, and they've always been about the Coyote is chasing after the Roadrunner. It's instincts, it's not even, I don't want to say, I mean, it's animal. It is predator hunting the prey. But, in the Warner Brothers cartoons, nothing would ever work, and that's where the comedy would come from, right? But this movie seeks to give a reason to why every single item Coyote ever used did not work. And, man, I loved this movie. I don't think that there's a way that I could have an unbiased review of this movie, but it's something that I've been waiting for ever since I heard them talking about it. And the trailers had me over the moon. And after seeing the movie, I'm happy to say that I think that it lives up to the potential of what we can truly get if we do combine animation and live action. And there is a brilliance to this and a respect and an attention to detail that I don't even want to spoil. But I'll just tell you that there are Looney Tunes characters that show up in this that made my jaw drop. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not talking about what's his name. I'm not talking about the skunk. Oh, Pepe Le Pew. Not even talking about that. There's a lot of different Looney Tunes in this movie, and I think that the biggest negative I can say about this is I think that not all the animation is equal, but I'll tell you this. there are moments when certain characters show up where you can tell that they put a little bit of extra money. Because I'll tell you, when Bugs Bunny shows up in this movie, it was so beautiful. It was so insane to see. And I think that this movie is pretty regular. I don't think that it does a lot that we haven't really seen before, but because it carries such a humongous legacy and all this history with it, it really makes anything that you would be like, oh, well, that's been done before. It really makes that have new life in its own way, especially when we're living in times where politics are so backwards and we see the big guy just dominating the little guy. This movie really feels important. And I was happy that I was able to see it in a theater, and it wasn't even empty. I saw it at the first screening. It was at noon, and there was probably a half a dozen people there. But I think that this is going to get some what's it called? This is going to get some traction, because I'm seeing it all over social media that the marketing has just become people like you and me saying, yo, get the fuck out there and go watch the movie. And I love that. And I think that this is a great movie to rally behind. It lives up to the hype. It's something that everybody, I know who loves movies. How is this not what you want? How is this not exactly the thing that you've been waiting for, man? Everybody's all like, yeah, this and that, Space Jam's cool or whatever. It's no Roger Rabbit. And I don't think that this is like better. I think that some people will argue that they like this better than Roger Rabbit, but I feel like it feels like the spiritual successor to that movie that we really deserve. And I love this. I really can't say enough good things about it. I felt great watching it. I was never bored, and he's so cool. I can't recommend it enough. I really can't. And if anyone has any questions about it, I don't really want to spoil any of the surprises in there, but there are some great surprises. And I think the most important takeaway, if you want to know, the biggest thing about this movie is, like I said, it has insane attention to detail. I think that rewatching this movie, I'll be able to pick up on other stuff in the background that I might have missed. But as far as, characters go, I think that there's a lot of typical character stuff, and I think that they're decently written. But I like the way that this movie developed these characters that are, almost 100 years old or whatever, And I think that's pretty damn cool. The way that it builds up to the same thing that the cartoon does, I thought was pretty clever. This cartoon is about the Coyote wanting to get the Roadrunner, and he gets close, but he hasn't gotten him yet. And, that's before the movie, I'll say, at least. But I love this. If you don't go see this in theaters, you suck, man. This is the most important movie that's come out in years in a lot of ways, because they wanted to get rid of this, dude. They wanted this shit to not be allowed. They wanted this to just flabdooski. They were like, let's cut our losses and get a discount on our taxes and not release this. And that sucks, because that's the fat cat at the top giving you the finger saying whatever. And a lot of people worked on this, and they did a great job. And I think that this movie totally delivers. I wish that it had a popcorn bucket. I would have gotten it. But I loved this. I thought it was really something special. It filled me with great joy. But once again, like I said at the beginning of this review, I have a biased opinion on this. All right? I desperately wanted this. And it would have had to really, really suck for me to be like, I didn't like this. And it lived up to my expectations, which was, not, it didn't like go well beyond them. I think that there may be a better movie, somewhere in this, but I still think that this is phenomenal stuff. I remember when I told you this was a thing and you saw behind the scenes photos of it. I vaguely remember that. They should have done an Acme box or like a wrecking ball popcorn bucket. I was going to ask what's better, this movie or that recent-ish Chip and Dale movie. I think that Chip and Dale movie has a lot of really clever things about it, but as a whole, I don't think it's as clever or as lovingly made as Coyote versus Acme or memorable. But I will say that movie is decent. I would give that probably a high matinee, and I'd give this a very high full price. But I think that both movies have quality to them, but I certainly would say I prefer this one. Certainly would. They should have made an Acme TNT glitter bomb. What, are you writing down bad ideas? That doesn't even make sense. Glitter bomb? That sounds horrible, dude. Maybe like a big, like, classic bomb. Now, if we can do this for Batgirl movie to get released, I don't know if that Batgirl movie will be as good as this, dude. I don't think that Batgirl movie would live up to this. I would be curious to see that. Like, I just would be so curious because of the infamy with it. I don't think it would live up to this, man. This is a movie that has like there's a lot more classic, like just I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. I think that The Day the Earth Blew Up might be funnier, but I think that this is really, oh man, it's a wonderful movie. But
I'm subscription active, but I don't feel alive. I subscription active, just perfectly aligned.